Women have been breaking boundaries in the past few decades. In most male-dominated fields, women are becoming more involved and accepting more leadership positions. But the number of women in firefighting career positions are still extremely low. According to the National Fire Protection Association, only about 15,000 career firefighters in the U.S. are women, which equals about 4%. One of those women is Captain Cindy Murphy with the Clarksburg Fire Department. In fact, she's the first woman firefighter in the city of Clarksburg.
I really got bit by the bug when I was in high school, and it was something that I wanted to do. I saw a movie called Firefighter, which was about the first female firefighter out in Los Angeles County. And I told my mom, I said, man, I'd really love to do that. And Mom was like, I don't want you doing that. But, later on I got involved in EMS and started running a lot on the ambulance, and then just realized that I really wanted to get involved in the fire service side of it. And that was the, extrication and the technical rescue, along with the really exciting firefighting of running in and out of the burning buildings. As the first female that came on in Clarksburg, it was interesting because they'd never had one. So there were just simple things that needed to be done, just locks on the restrooms, and trying to figure out, sleeping arrangements, because they didn't have such things as pajamas, and those guys just slept in whatever they had, and so we had to come up with some different things, and so to try and have some privacy issues and make sure that I had places to change, and that we were dressed when we got up. It was interesting those first few years, but we somehow survived it.
A firefighter does more than just run inside burning buildings. They're often the first to arrive during an emergency of any sort.
Because the fire department is the catch-all. If they cannot figure out who else to call for whatever it is, the fire department shows up and we're going to figure out how to fix it or how to take care of it.
Firefighters can get called to many situations, including car accidents, domestic disputes, and hazardous material cleanup. In fact, according to NFPA, 2 out of 3 calls to the fire department are for medical emergencies. Captain Cindy says there are times when it helps that there's a woman on staff.
Unfortunately, with the domestic violence cases, and when you also have sexual assault cases, or even when we get down into obstetric cases, there are a lot of guys who are very uncomfortable trying to deal with that, or the patient themselves is uncomfortable dealing with the fact that it's, predominantly men that are coming. So in that aspect, that was always, when I first got here, that was great. As soon as we would get an obstetrics call, it's like, you're on the truck. Because they didn't feel as comfortable with it, and they knew that the patient was going to feel more comfortable with having a female there. Sexual assault has really always been very, very difficult on that end of it, because the males have they're hurting too when they see somebody hurt like that, and they can't comfort them. That's the last thing most of them want at that point, is to be anywhere near somebody, depending on who it is that's assaulted them, and, what that circumstance has been. That's difficult. And so there have been times when I've been called by the police department and asked, hey, can you come and be on this crew for this time period, or take this person to the hospital, because it's just a delicate situation.
Firefighting can be a tough job emotionally as much as it is physically. A newspaper clipping Captain Cindy keeps at her desk tells the story of a man with young kids that didn't make it out. Cindy says it's a reminder of how important public education is, and now one of her favorite duties is teaching fire safety to first graders in the county.
I wanted to make sure from that point, when we had that tragedy in Harrison County, that we weren't going to have that happen again if I could help it. And I do that by making sure that I send these kids home with a working smoke alarm. And that way, it's a 10-year smoke alarm. So from the time that I'm giving those first graders, they're about 5 to 6 years or 7 years old. So they're going to be in high school, and they're going to be driving a car by the time that smoke alarm needs to be completely replaced. And for me, if I can prevent one more of those, and that's why it's called Operation Not One More, if I can prevent that from ever happening, then I'm going to continue to pass these smoke alarms out and pray that the parents put them up, because most of the time these kids can't. But it's really important to me. I keep them close because they're a reminder. They're a reminder that happened, and if I can help it, it's not going to happen again. Another
difficult part of the job is that it can be difficult to balance family life.
When I was on shift, you were away from home for 24 hours. So if you've got little kids, you're gone for 24 hours, and you're not there for every Christmas morning. You're not there for every birthday morning. And so those are difficult choices for women to make. But it's a great career, when those kids look up to you because they know that, hey, mom's not here today, but I know she's at the fire station because she's out saving people. And I have really good friends in other departments down in the Charleston department and others that have kids. And that's what they have to look at, is, that it's a very delicate balance between family and what you do in the fire service.
Despite all the difficult parts of being a firefighter, Captain Cindy says she enjoys the job and she couldn't imagine doing anything else.
I mean, there's a lot of careers and a lot of things that you can do that will pay you more money and not cause as much stress as what this job causes on you. So a lot of people will stand there and say, that's just not going to be for me, even if there's a question in their mind whether they want to. But then there's that other one, that 19-year-old kid that's really the adrenaline junkie who just enjoys doing, the fire service, or enjoys doing the technical rescue side of it, or any of those little different facets that we have in it. Those are cool careers for people, and it's extremely rewarding at the end of the day.
For WBOY.com, I'm Shayla Klein in Clarksburg.